The next person that I would like to introduce has been in the food movement for a long time, sharing his passion, changing things day in and day out, working with people from all over the world, sharing what he does, and is somebody that we can look up to. I'd like to introduce Chef Rick Bayless to come up, and he's going to say a few words and start this auction off after that.
Thank you all so much, and thank you for being here, because without you, we can't do the work that we need to do. So thank you for being here and supporting the Spence Farm Foundation, but in a broader way, thinking about supporting agriculture that is honest and local. There are a lot of chefs and restaurateurs that talk about local food and supporting local food. And then there are the chefs that have the broader vision, the farmers that have the broader vision. And that's what you're experiencing today. You are tasting food from chefs that make good food, okay? That's just a given. It's delicious stuff, right? But when you talk to them, it's not just about making good food. It's about making good food that is really thoughtfully sourced. It is good food that creates community. That's one of my biggest focuses, is creating community in the food world. It's food that is delicious and makes a difference in people's lives, and that may sound sort of pie in the sky, but it's just the honest truth. And when you experience something like what you find at Spence Farm, the Spence Farm Foundation, the stewards of the land, what you are experiencing is the expression of somebody who's got a really broad vision for how we can change the landscape that we live in. So I'm going to go back to the Gandhi quote, because it's the thing that I live by, that when you are able to create the world you want to live in, that is something that sounds really a great aphorism to perhaps put on your Facebook page, except for the fact that it's a really hard thing to do. And the Spence Farm Foundation has been able to do that. We have in Frontera Grill always had a bigger vision for what we do. Yes, we want to have a successful restaurant. Yes, we want to have delicious food, but we want to actually be a positive force in the community that we live in. That's what Spence Farm Foundation has done as well. Spence Farm Foundation has affected the community that is here around Fairbury. You know how Spence Farm Foundation has changed the chef community in Chicago by offering a lot of amazing local things, but not just local things, really cool local things that get chefs excited, so that instead of just putting a little garnish on the plate that came from a local farm, they're willing to commit to something that is deeper, richer, more something that is going to affect what our local agricultural economy is based on. We think about local agriculture as being seasonal, something that we've gotten away from in the United States, but I think is actually an important thing for us to think about in our lives. That eating seasonally is what our bodies are adapted for. We've been doing it for millennia. Why in the last 50 years have we stopped doing it? And is it something that we should think about going back to? We think about buying locally because the stuff is picked riper. I mean, how many times have you bought an apple in the grocery store and thought it tasted terrible? Because most of the time it does. It's picked really, really underripe. It's shipped what is over 1,500 miles. Now they're saying about 2,000 miles for everything that shows up in your regular grocery store. And you think about the flavor that comes from it, and it's very unsatisfying. When you get something that is picked locally, then it's probably going to be picked riper, right? And the other thing that I would say about buying local is that, you know what? They can grow varieties that can't be shipped. They can grow varieties that have meaning. We can talk about Iroquois white corn, which we introduced to Spence Farm a number of years ago because we were buying it from the Iroquois Nation in upstate New York, and they decided not to grow it. And I thought, this is part of the heritage of the United States, we should do it, and they grabbed hold of it. And the great story that they looked around trying to find seed corn from the Iroquois Nation. They couldn't find it. They finally found, I think, 1 pound of it in existence, and now they've turned it into this major thing that they are preserving, because it is important to preserve things that have heritage and are delicious. If you've ever had anything made with the Iroquois white corn, it's like the most delicious thing in the world. Do we really want to see that go away? So what you guys are involved in today is not just delicious food, but it's delicious food that means something in many, many different levels.